Hello everyone, Attack Power here with the final tribute to Normandy 44 versus update. We have our last division here with the 4th Canadian Armored Division, the new one they're adding in, like the completely new, not in Normandy at all, actually, like the original game at all, unit here. So before we do, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more Steel Division 2 content, and consider checking out that Patreon link down below. Thank you to everyone who has supported me or are currently supporting me. It really does mean a lot. Let's dive right in here to Tribute to Normandy 44 versus 7B, 4th Canadian Armored. So, blah, 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 little update. 4th Canadian Armored Division can trace its origins back to World War I, formed as an infantry division and seeing action on the Western Front. By World War II, it was reformed into an armored division. The 4th Canadian Armored Division was quickly shipped to the United Kingdom, spending almost 2 years in training on the home Isles. Transported to Normandy in 1944, the 4th Canadian Division's hour of glory came during the climax of the Battle of Falaise in mid-August 1944, a Canadian mixed force detachment led by Major David Currie captured Saint-Lambert-sur-Divie. I don't know. It's French. This town was smack in the middle of the retreating German forces. Oh, all right. Good for them. All right, let's see here. All right, they're right there, and they go whoop, and then and the Germans were trying. Okay, all right. Yeah, that was. Oh, and it's wait this town here. No, somewhere in here. They went this way. I'm not seeing this town. Well, whatever. So I get, oh, it's this one right here. Oh, okay, now I see. Oh, so they were like this. All right, yeah, that's pretty good. Currie and his men held their position long enough for the Americans of the 90th Infantry Division to link up, coming from opposite Chambois. This sealed the trap. With the pocket closed, tens of thousands of Germans were captured. Major Currie was later awarded the Victoria Cross. Good for him. 4th Armored Division would continue its service in Western Europe, fighting in Belgium, passing the winter in the southern Netherlands before taking part in the final advance in the northern plains of Germany in 1945. All right. In terms of organization, the 4th Armored Division can be considered the missing link between an American and British Armored Division. Okay, interesting. It will have a distinct flavor, setting it apart from the heavy cavalry Guards armor and the light cavalry of the 7th Armored Desert Rats. The Canadian formation will be organized along British TOE lines. The Division Recon Regiment, the South Alberta Regiment, or SAR, doesn't get its usual Cromwells, but is equipped with Shermans instead. Okay, though mounted on American half-tracks and armored cars, the Canadian infantry were earmarked to transition towards lighter, more mobile Canadian-built C-15TA armored trucks. So are they saying they will have them or not? Because it's saying they're coming in on the American ones, but they're earmarked to be transit. Like, why do I care if there's not? Maybe it'll be a phase thing. Recon armored cars were Canadian-built Otters instead of the Hummer. Okay, that should be cool. Wonder how those are. Oh, I guess, is that it? Is that the armored car? It doesn't have a gun, so I'm going to say no. Next to the above changes, and to set it further apart from the Commonwealth divisions, we have decided to represent the historical link of American troops in closing the Falaise pocket by adding elements of the 90th Infantry Division combat phase. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. I feel like they keep doing this with certain divisions, and they do it with both sides. But I feel like the Allied divisions are already really strong in this DLC, so why are we adding? Why are we buffing an Allied division even more? Like, why can't we have this have crappy infantry and be done with it? I don't know. And again, they do it for both. It's not like they don't, right? I mean, all the group whatevers of the Germans are generally just like, they just take like a location and they're like, everything in this location was part of this group. And it's very loose, right? And they, a lot of these Normandy divisions, they're like, oh, they happen to have the 502nd Abteilung, whatever, Panzer Abteilung thingy-majigger there, which grants them access to Tigers. Like, I get it. Like, they do it on both. But again, I feel like this DLC is already like, let's steroid up the Allies even more. I feel like the last thing they need to be doing is adding, like, making a weakness of a division and taking it away. Because, of course, like, these infantry are going to slap because they're all going to have semi-automatic rifles and stuff. They're going to be really good. Now, they only come in C phase. I get that. But basically, you're making this division, like, it would have been kind of locked to almost like a Maverick Vanguard thing. And now you're giving it the option to be balanced as well and, like, play in anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. Tell me in the comments if I'm being too strong about it. But I don't know. They do it, again, they do it for both sides. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying for specifically this DLC, did we need to buff the Allied division? Probably not. Like, probably no. But anyway, what can you expect from the 4th Canadian Armored Division? Recon above average with a fair number of slots and decent prices. There's quite a bit of choice, including new units. New units are cool. Expected to deploy a lot of Sherman 5 SARs. I mean, it's just a Sherman 5 with recon. I mean, they call it a new unit, but it's a Sherman 5 with recon. In terms of armored cars, the 4th Canadian Division relies mainly on the Otter Mark I. This vehicle is basically an enclosed and armored C-15 TA with a forward fixed Boise anti-tank rifle and Bren machine gun in the turret. An unarmored Otter Mark II is also available as a scout transport equipped with a radio. I mean, that's good. This force is rounded out by a handful of only staghounds, historically part of the divisional HQ. I mean, this Otter thing doesn't sound good. Like, this is not a very good AT rifle. Like, let's put that frankly. It's not a very good AT rifle. The Bren is still not anything magical. Even if it becomes better, that's still not like amazing. The Otter transport with the radio, that's useful. That's actually very useful, but it's not like, whoa, that makes this division good. It's just, okay, cool. Like an easy unit to toss some radio on, and that's certainly nice. Infantry scout squads deploy in smaller numbers in other divisions. The Scouts SAR are heavy scouts with the tank rider trait. They share this trait with the before-mentioned Sherman 5 SAR. These troops represent the tank-riding forces Major Curry brought with him to capture St. Lambert. From combat phase C, commanders can deploy American recon troops, scouts, jeeps, M8s, and M20 armored cars. I mean, those are kind of useless at that point. You know, I mean, honestly, the scouts of all those things might be the most useful. M20s can be annoying too with their 50 cal. M8s are nice in A phase, but by C phase, they're usually pretty outclassed. Like, you're not getting in like early deployments or like reinforcements and stuff, so their usefulness is severely reduced. These Scouts SAR they're probably going to be solid. They're calling them heavy scouts, and they have the tank rider trait as well. I mean, if they come in with a good transport, I'm assuming maybe they come in with these Otter Mark IIs. So they come in with extra. Do they have radio themselves? They don't say anything about these guys having radio. Well, we don't know what the RD tab is yet, but it's probably very good. It's probably like priests and stuff, which is historically pretty solid. I mean, yeah, I mean, this seems good. I mean, they said it right there, above average with a fair number of slots and decent prices. Looks like this is like a severe extension of your armor tab for the most part with the Shermans. And then you bring in this Scout SAR. I mean, if they only give you one card, you get 3 and A, not a big deal. If they give you 2 cards and you get 3 and A and 6 and B, that's a lot. Like, that's not a shortage. Like, they say it deploys in smaller numbers. We'll see how many of these you get to work with. But, I mean, this seems very strong overall in terms of the recon tab. Infantry tab, a good number of slots and ditto prices. Oh, okay. The division features the usual Commonwealth rifles, engineers, and motor rifles. To represent the transition to the C-15 TA mounted infantry, the new motor rifles late squad plus command version has been created. This infantry squad can only deploy from combat phase B onwards, but features additional veterancy, different small arms loadout, and access to C-15. Sorry, I'm still working through a sickness. So wait. So these motor rifles, the additional veterancy, do they get, usually when they say that means they don't get knocked on availability, right? So usually that means you get motor rifles. Usually, do they have 2 Brens? I think they have 2 Brens usually. I would think they would, because rifles have 1, motor rifles I'm pretty sure have 2, or maybe they just have a Piat. I can't remember at this moment in time. If they have 2 Brens, that's solid, and a Piat. Like, if it's 2 Brens and a Piat, I'm assuming it's going to be 2 Brens and a Piat. That's going to be my guess. If I'm just blind shooting this into it. C-15 TA, I mean, if it has a 50 cal, it's phenomenal. That's basically what it comes down to. If it has a 50 cal, it's phenomenal. If it has a 30 cal, it's meh. It's okay. That's really all that matters here. If this has a 50 cal, it's a fabulous unit. If it doesn't, it's a very meh unit. Like, it makes no difference. From C phase onwards, you get American infantry to deploy in half tracks. So this division is actually feeling very balanced or juggernaut to me. Not that Juggernaut's really a very competitive income, but balance-wise, it doesn't sound like A phase you're getting your best stuff by any stretch. And also, if you take it Maverick, you're missing out on your American infantry and stuff and American troops in C phase. So and rifles late are 30 points, so it's hard to bring that in a Maverick deck and have access to them in a useful way. So this is really leaning towards a balanced deck, at least from these first 2 taps. From C onwards, yeah, American deploy in half track. And now they can deploy in half tracks, or they can't, or they can choose not to, it appears. But if they come in half tracks, then they're even more expensive. So I don't even think V for Victory is very good here, because it doesn't sound like their A phase is anything phenomenal, because you don't even get these new motor rifles until B. The joining the Yanks are the Canadian Kangaroo rifle. Wow, okay. With not the standard Kangaroo as a transport option, but its later variant, the Ram Kangaroo, built from a much sturdier and unused Ram 2 tank. So that's very good. I mean, the Kangaroo rifles are a really solid infantry squad. It's 15 men. You get 3 Brens, and again, if they and a Piat on that, if they buff the Bren, which I do think is in the works, I mean that's a very good infantry tab. I mean, for late game, it's a very good late game infantry tab. Now they didn't mention when. Oh wait, joining the Yanks. Okay, so C phase. It feels like you're getting all your good infantry in C. These motor rifles, especially if they're only 1 Bren, are definitely not that great. But if they get 2, then they're serviceable for B phase. I don't know if this division has the infantry to be super aggressive. It just doesn't look like it on paper here. But this is very good. It looks like you're spoiled for choice when you get to C phase. You're gonna have Kangaroo rifles, American riflemen. I mean, one's gonna be significantly better than the other. It's gonna come down to, like, if they buff the Bren, Kangaroo rifles are phenomenal, and there's no point in taking American infantry, or they don't buff the Bren, or it's not a big buff, and American infantry are just way better overall, and you generally just take the American infantry. But the Kangaroo rifles come with a Piat. The American infantry generally don't come with any sort of AT, so maybe you do take a mix. But continuing on here, our tank tab. Prices are reasonable across the board. A few Stuart 6s are featured, most of them being jalopied. There we go. Jalopied, deturreted. Lots of Sherman 5s, plus some Firefly 5s and 1s. The latter 2 units weren't deployed fully as the division started receiving them before shipping to France. The division only received its full complement by September. So what does that mean? Does that mean I don't get Fireflies until C? I don't think so, because the division has all its armor right away. So do you get like 1 card of each, I guess? Plus some Firefly 5s and 1s? If you get 1 of each, that's fine. Like, that's plenty to go around. Especially if you're going balanced, you just go B and C and you get 4 and 6 generally. So you'd have 10 Fireflies. If you can't kill armor with that, then you're probably not succeeding in killing people's armor. You're probably not doing that well. So, I mean, it seems fine. I mean, it's a Sherman. They're saying they're going to vary this from the other Commonwealth divisions, but like, it's basically just an American. I'm trying to think what other divisions have this almost exact thing. Pancherna, right? Shermans, Fireflies. Sounds like Pancherna to me, with better infantry, like with significantly better infantry. But this just sounds like a Pancherna deck, like in terms of armor, at least the armor. Because Pancherna does it have Cromwells? Am I having a moment? Wait, Pancherna has Cromwells. What am I talking about? Right? It's been oh my god, I'm so tired. No, they do. They do. I'm sorry. I retract that statement. Stop typing in the comments. Stop writing your comments. Okay, it still does though. I mean, Pancherna has a very similar feel to it. You're with Shermans instead though. So I see what they're trying. I see what they're saying. There's not a ton of divisions that have Fireflies and Shermans. What about South African? What about 6th South African? Doesn't that? I mean, is this just 6th South African with like way better infantry, like hilariously better infantry? I don't play that division at all, but I'm pretty sure it's just Shermans and Fireflies. But anyway, support rather average. We'll see about that. The typical arsenal is 2-inch mortar, Vickers, supply, flame-throwing Wasp. Those are fun. Commanders deploy, standard squad, Ram 2, Sherman 5. C phase onwards, you get the M2. Okay, yeah, this is not like incredible. I mean, you do get 2K eventually, but that is very late to be bringing in your 2K HE. Anti-tank, once again, pretty standard. Classic assortment. Piat, 6-pounders, 17-pounders, and M10s. Wait, M10C Achilles tank destroyer. I'm assuming that's just the Achilles, right? I mean, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they call it pretty standard. I mean, it is. It's pretty good. I'm never really upset with a Commonwealth AT tab. They're usually pretty solid. Below anti-air, below average with only a few slots. Unit options include Toad and self-propelled Bofors, Crusader Mark 1 and 2. I mean, that's an amazing lineup of units. A few slots usually means 3. So you're definitely limited. But Bofors, being Toad and self-propelled Bofors. I mean, Bofors are excellent. I mean, Bofors are fine. 2 cards of Bofors can easily get you through a 1v1 game, without a doubt. But if you want something more aggressive, you take the Crusader, which is really good, just as more of an all-around unit, like actually like killing infantry and stuff. And if you watch some of my recent casts, there's been several that killed tanks. I mean, Crusaders are awesome. And so you bring like a card of Crusaders, you get 3 in A phase, unvetted, but they're fine. And then your B phase card of Bofors, if you bring them self-propelled, they probably don't die if you're good at your micro. I mean, it is below average probably in slots, but it seems really solid otherwise. Like there's no actual issue here. The division can count on a good number of slots for artillery. These include the standard use 3-inch, 4-inch motor, 25-pounder, and there's the self-propelled Sexton. The Americans bring their M2A1 and M1A1 long tom howitzers from combat. Yeah, so that's very good. I mean, Sextons are great. They really are. They're one of the only like 105 guns that I'm like happy to be using. There are a couple, but like the fact that they move around, they come with like 50 rounds of ammo. Like you can shoot those things for 2 phases for like 20 minutes straight and somehow still have ammo at the end of it. So that's really good because it really lets you delay when you have to bring supply in and save those points. And of course, they shouldn't die because you can move them. Standard category for air. The division relies mostly on new Canadian Typhoons and fighter, rocket, and fighter bomb. I mean, what? Typhoons are phenomenal. They're like I'm pretty sure that they're straight up the best in like plane in the game. Not counting costs. Like if we're not factoring costs at all, these things are disgustingly good. Like disgustingly good. They turn on a dime. They go like 670 kilometers an hour or something. I mean, they have like 820 cals. I mean, they freaking wipe crap out of the sky. Out of that, a few Canadian Mosquito bombers and Austria Recon. For combat phase B onwards, not phase C like the land-based Americans, you get P-38s and wow, my God, this is an incredible. What do you mean a standard category? Like this is phenomenal. Or maybe they're talking about slots. They must be talking about slots because this is like, I don't know what else you could want in the freaking like air tab. This is really, really good. Jeez. I'm pretty sure Stan's having dreams right now of this division. This seems like gross. I mean, it doesn't have his Cromwells, but my goodness. Yeah, 4th Canadian Army is a solid armor division, emphasizing everything. Basically emphasizing everything. While supporting arms in air might be average. What's average about this? Enough flights. What are you talking about? What is average about this division? The support tab? Maybe. Yeah, the support tab. Okay, fine. The support tab is average. The air tab seems, I mean, freaking balls to the wall good. Unless it's like 4 slots that cost 4 points each. It seems like really good. The Arty tab seems great. The AA tab, sure, that might be low, but you have really good options here. AT tab, I mean, this is good. I mean, it's good. And you have Fireflies. You don't really need any of this per se. Your support tab, yeah, is not great, but you do get 2K eventually. It's not like you don't get any. Your tank tab, I mean, it's Shermans, but then there's Fireflies, so you actually can kill heavy armor. So, I mean, this is good. Technically, you have the best support tank in the game and a really solid AT tank, essentially. And of course, you do have you have Achilles and stuff if you really want more 2K killing power on mobile. I should say mobile 2K killing power plus your 17 pounders. The infantry in the second half of the game seemed really strong. You know, BC phase seemed really good. Again, depending on how good these motor rifles are. C phase, phenomenal. B phase, potentially very good. And your recon tab seems great. So I don't see a weakness here. I just see another really good allied division for this DLC. So if you're an Allied fan, especially Commonwealth, and I know this isn't technically like a Commonwealth division, it is, but it isn't, but it is. I mean, you should be very excited about this division. I mean, it seems really good. Just, it seems all around really strong. But if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider checking out that Patreon down below. Thanks a bunch, guys, and have a fantastic day. Oh, and I forgot, going live later today. Have a fantastic day.